Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. I'm Gav, this is Kev, and we are going to close out the Euros because it finished last night. We're going to have a little chat about it, and then we're going to get out people's way. We're going to chat about the final last night, the Spain winners, worthy winners, in my opinion. The final, the aftermath of that, some players that really grabbed our attention, some players that really kind of underperformed, and one or two that you didn't know much about, but you kind of look at and go, yeah, really good player. And that's what we're going to do over the next 45 minutes or so. When I say 45 minutes, it'll probably be an hour because that's how we roll. Kev, the Euros is over. Spain conquer Europe yet again. And first things first, they're worthy winners, aren't they? Even looking beyond the
Yeah,
final there, they're worthy winners of this tournament.
they are. It's the only thing that I looked at is a real shame that it was that they met Germany when they did,
Yeah,
because they were the two best sides for me to watch in it. Spain were a joy to watch. They're what you become accustomed to, what we've become accustomed to watching Liverpool. Aggressive, press really high. When they get the ball quick, they're not like the Spain tiki taka from under Luis Enrique and before that. These guys whip crosses in for fun, and they've got two wingers and a forward who just work their nuts off. They're a joy to watch, and hopefully they're the example now that other teams, other countries, other clubs look at and say, "Yeah, we want to play like that," because it'll make for a better game for everyone to be able to watch. There was some sides there that you're looking at, you're like, "Do I really have to watch this?"
yeah.
You're like, "There's nothing else. It's either this or EastEnders." You know what I mean? And it was a toss up there for a while.
It
So
it's for me when you look across it, and when people say we're Spain worthy winners. When I look across it, I think, I thought France were really good defensively, right? But after that, bored, bored me to tears. You look at Germany, who I thought were could be ropey at times at the back, but were a bit electric going forward when they got going. But again, it wasn't all adding up. Do you know the sort of way we got on to England in a bit? I don't think any of it added up, but they got where they got. But when you looked at Spain, they looked solid. They looked solid at the back. They looked like they can control a game in midfield, and up front they were electric. They were absolutely electric. If you gave them a minute's breathing space, they were all over you. They were hurting you. And we seen it in the game as the game went on last night that when it opened up a little bit, Spain just looked like they could run over England, especially for that first 20 minutes of the second half. And overall, they're very. You come out of some competitions, you go, yeah, they won it, but I really like that team. There wasn't another team where I went, yeah, Spain won it, but I really liked another team. It just wasn't there in this competition.
yeah, the worry must be for other countries that this Spain side is relatively young,
Yeah,
and a lot of them have come through the ranges together. So they're only going to improve, and they've got more quality to come.
yeah,
You know, they they could be frightening. This could be the beginning of another generation for the Spanish.
yeah.
And I think a lot more people will go out of their way now to watch more Spanish league football to see what they've got coming through, because they are giving younger players a chance, and they're not afraid to do it either. So we'll see how it goes next season, see how it evolves. But from what I can see, there's only positives to come out of that Spanish squad.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's you'd like to have a longer discussion on it, but there's not really a long discussion to have on if Spain were the best team. Like Owen Burke says, there Spain beat Croatia, Italy, Germany, France, and England to win it. The
Yeah,
sort of way. And they put aside a Georgian side as well that were like on the highest as well. And that's I'm not saying that in jest.
no,
Georgia were a serious outfit if you let them run at you. If you gave the ball away to them, they were a serious outfit. Um, Overall, though, the tournament itself, I am of the opinion that I love the group stages. Absolutely love the group stages. But I thought I fell on its arse a little bit after.
yeah. Look, this is like most tournaments, right? Most tournaments, the group stages, and I suppose it was the bonus of having something to play for every side that was in the group, that three sides could go through.
Yeah,
So there was something on every game. So it was in their interest to really attack games. But tournament football being tournament football, when you get to the knockout stages, bar one or two countries, they were first things first, don't lose. We'll try and win it, but most of all, don't lose it. And it turns into turgid football after that. Um, it's just, and it's not just this tournament. A lot of tournaments go this way, and you just got to accept. That's why. I mean, I think the Copa got it right with getting rid of extra time. You know, put jeopardy in there that if it goes to 90 minutes, if it's full time, yeah, you're going straight to penalties.
Yeah.
There's no right. We've got the legs on you. We can outrun you in extra time or whatever. No,
Yeah.
you try and win it in extra time or in normal time, or it goes to penalties. I really enjoy. I really like. I hope, and with the volume of football that you have in a tournament like this, where you're playing Spain and England played 7 games. Granted, they got rid of the third place playoff, which is a positive, but playing 7 games on the back of, for some players, a 55-game season,
Yeah.
and go on your holiday for a fortnight and then go and do it again. You know, something has to give, and I think extra time in tournaments has to go.
Yeah, you see, I'm not a huge fan of it. We were watching the match in the Friends last night. There was a group of us there watching it, and we were talking about this because it was 80 odd minutes on the clock. We're like, this could go to extra time, and a few people in the group are saying, I'm not mad on extra time. It's just an extension of the game. Like, should he not do something else? And it was like one of them said there, just do the penalties before the game. Just do the
That
penalties
was an
before the game.
idea. That was an idea that was floated around years and years ago.
Well,
I
my
remember
mate
that.
is like he was literally going, do it before the game, right? Yeah. So his idea behind it was, if you do it before the game, right? Okay, you will get a team knowing if we can make it through the extra time. You know what I mean? That we win the game. But
Yeah,
if a lot of teams were just playing for these penalties, I think
yeah.
England would have played for penalties last night. You
Oh,
know,
they're guaranteed.
there was rumor going around that he was lining up Conor Gallagher and some other defensive player
Kieran
to come
Trippier.
on, just before Spain scored. So that
Yeah.
would have told you what they were going to do. But maybe that's not the solution. I don't think it
I,
is.
I
But
never liked golden goal.
I never liked that because that meant the two teams just sat in their own halves and said, "Look, we're not willing to fucking concede here."
Yeah,
Do you know
or
what I mean?
dumb luck played a part,
Yeah,
and that can happen as well. I liked what they did with the Copa. Honestly, play 90 minutes. If you can't win it in 90 minutes, just go to penalties.
yeah.
It's a toss of a coin. It's a toss of a coin. It's bottle. It's whatever you want to call it. But at least you know that all you have to go hell for leather for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You're not trying to save yourself for another 30 minutes after. You're not making substitutions with extra
But
time in mind.
the argument against that, Kev, is that some teams will just go, right, we'll just go for penalties without that extra. I think my mate's whole idea is to put some jeopardy on it before it starts. Do you get me? Put
Yeah.
the impetus on somebody before it starts. Do you know the sort of way? So for
It'll,
argument's sake, like say for argument's sake, Spain are playing Georgia, right? And Spain win the penalty shootout at the start. Georgia know that they can't sit there 1-0 on 85 hoping to get into extra time. They know they must score or this is over. Do you get me? Like,
yeah, yeah.
do you know what I mean? Or sit there on 0-0 and go, it's 0-0, we get to the 90. Like, honestly, like, if it...
It'd be a mad spectacle, wouldn't it? It would be a mad
Yeah,
spectacle. You think about it. You've got the round of 16, so you've got 8 knockout games in the round of 16. You've got 8 penalty shootouts, and then 4, and then 2, and then you'd have a penalty shootout before the final. And I wouldn't be against seeing that trialed.
yeah.
Maybe in an under
I
21
don't know.
competition or something. I think it's
There's
mad, but something has to change. Something has to change with it.
yeah,
For sure.
another thing someone else said to me last night was, whoever scores the first goal in the game, right, should it go to penalties, right? He was saying take penalties out. Just whoever scores first in the game, okay, if it goes to 90 minutes next time, they win.
So first goal wins.
No. So
No,
say,
I know what you mean.
do you know what I mean? So if Ireland are playing England and Ireland score after 15 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Okay. When it gets
yeah,
to
yeah.
the 90, okay, if it ends 1-1, Ireland go through. Ireland got the first goal.
I'm all for that.
But you know what I mean? That means then that teams have to come out and
And have a go, yeah.
yeah, because like if you have a less fancy team going out and saying, right, we're gonna sit here for a fucking hour and a half and we're not interested. We'll bring it as far as we can to penalties. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, then, if England were to score, right, or if England were, say, playing Georgia, we'd use that again, and England
Yeah.
score after 10 minutes, right, the game's not over. Georgia can still win the game, but they know if this goes to fucking 90 and extra time, penalties are gone.
It's a shortened format. It's a shortened way of looking at the away goals rule. When you think about it, it's the same
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of theory as the away
yeah,
goals rule,
yeah,
but in 90 minutes
yeah.
or 120 minutes. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the best way there where you don't flog players, where you
I
don't.
think 90 minutes is enough. I think
Yeah, because
an
I
hour
think.
and a half of football is enough
But the
to
thing
get it.
is, when you get into that extra time, you're flogging the players, so you're not going to get the quality out of them. And yeah, it leads to drama because players get tired and stuff like that. But it just leads to both teams, in my opinion, in extra time going, don't want to lose this now. Don't want to concede now. No matter how good one or the other are, you don't want to concede because you could be all over a team. You could be 0-0 at full time. You were all over them. They come out, they get a bleeding corner, they score against you, and your players are fucked. And you know, I suppose there's loads of different ways to go, and we always get this conversation after tournaments, but they still, no matter what they've tried, they've never gone away from extra time and penalties. Just haven't gone
No, they
away from it.
haven't.
I don't
The
think they
only
ever will.
time the only time they did was when they brought in golden goal,
Yeah,
and I never liked it. I understand why they did it, and it was drama for a point, but its sides figured it out really quickly.
yeah.
They just stayed well away from it. But that was, I think, the only time that they steered away from it. That's why I think what they've done with the Coppa, it'd be interesting to hear now from someone like Jesse Marsh to come out and say what he thought of that aspect of how it worked in the Coppa and see if it could
But
translate into other
wasn't there a
competitions.
silver goal at some stage as well? There was definitely a
Silver
silver.
goal. Silver goal was if you scored in the first period of extra time and the result stayed the same until the end of the first period of extra time, that was the game. That
That
was
was the
it.
game. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was the game, yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's an idea. Bring
Go
that
back to
back.
that.
The golden goal doesn't make sense, but I'm thinking, no matter what way you try and walk around it, you're still going to end up a team with an advantage and a team at a disadvantage, and the team with the advantage are more likely to sit in. So does it really change? Do you know the sort of way?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit of a mad one. Maybe I like the idea of the team that scores the first goal. You know, I don't know. Um, I don't know
If it's
what.
a draw at the end of no time,
No,
whoever scored
even if you
first.
said to them, look, right, we're going to do extra time and penalties, right? We're not going to do extra time, but what we're going to do is, if player or team A score the first goal, their first penalty is automatically marked as a goal in the penalty shootout straight away.
Yeah, but the way I look at it is you have to reduce the minutes of players.
That's what I'm
If you're
saying. So
playing,
you play
yeah, if
90.
you're,
So what you do is you play 90, right? It's a 90
yeah,
minute
yeah, yeah,
game with penalties if it's a draw at the end. But if
right,
team A scores first, team A scores first in the game, and it ends 1-1 and it goes to penalties,
yeah.
immediately team A goes up on the board. You have one penalty out of one.
So you're one nil up penalties.
You're 1-0 up on penalties. Yeah, yeah,
So you have it encourages sides to come out and play
yeah.
because
Just exactly.
that's I suppose that's the whole thing we want. We want to. I don't. As you pointed out there, you were right about France. France defensively were very good. England defensively were good. You know, but it's I don't want to watch football for that. You know that's not why I sit down at 8 o'clock to watch a match. To watch a team who's defensively sound. We all want to be on the edge of our seat watching attacking football. I don't know anyone who gets like excited about, oh, they're playing five at the back, aren't they fantastic? You know, it should be banned out of football, to be honest. But
Yeah, but
Matt
like,
would
in
have to,
fairness, sometimes you do watch games and you go, "That was a masterclass in defending."
yeah.
And
But that's when you're scoring goals. When you're coming from a position right, Italy were brilliant at it. Defensively, rock solid midfield. You're getting no change, but they're scoring. You
yeah,
know, they're getting 1-2-0 up, and you know you're getting nothing out of it.
yeah,
But that's an art in itself. But in general, when sides are parking the bus and they're playing narrow within the width of their 18-yard box, there's no entertainment in that. And if you're expecting 50, 60, 70,000 people to pay good money to go and you have to provide some level of entertainment. You
yeah.
have to.
Ashley
You know,
says,
it's over a tournament you have to. It's not
yeah.
cheap.
Ashley says you start changing one rule and you'll open the door for more changes. Pretty soon we'll have kick-ins and 60-minute games where advertising breaks. Hyperbolic, I know, but I worry it'll happen. Yeah, I'm with you on that as well, and maybe that's why they've stuck to it. And
Superstars penalties.
like we are only like I don't think we're far from. I honestly don't think we're far in the Premier League across the main broadcasters where they will like literally every break and play just start flashing ads up on the TV. I don't think we're that far from it.
No, I don't do that.
You know what I mean? But
Does
look, I'm
happen.
just look.
Does happen
It's
elsewhere.
probably a meaningless conversation we're having. It's just something that at the end of every tournament you go, "What would you do different?" And in 2 years' time, we'll be going, "Do you know what? I think the first team that scored, we'd probably saying the same thing in 2 years' time." And we just forgot we fucking said it today. But
Probably, yeah.
listen, if we did, someone will remind us because you can't say anything without someone reminding you of what you've said fucking 5 years ago. Um, but looking at the final itself, um, like I said, I think Spain deserved to win. I think bar 5 minutes probably in the first half where England got on top and got the odd corner, and probably 5 minutes in the second half where England had a bit of a go. Um, I thought Spain. I was saying to people around me, these guys don't panic. They play and they play and they play, and I heard commentators saying, oh, Spain look like they're getting frustrated, and I was like, you clearly don't watch this Spain team if you think they're getting frustrated. They're doing this all fucking tournament. They held the ball really well. They passed it well. They were aggressive at times and sat off at others, but just really patient in what they were doing. And I think the first 25 minutes showed for me the level in class between both sides and what their idea of playing football was and how they were implementing it. I thought Spain implemented themselves really well in the first, implemented their style in the first 25 minutes, whereas England just sat and went, listen, let's see out this storm from minute one. That's what I felt in the first part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that. And Spain, England played right the way through the tournament where the majority of the games they had the ball. Well, do you expect that against the sides that they were playing against? It wasn't
Yeah,
really until they played Holland that they came up against the
and
side
Holland
who
gave it
needed
to them
that.
as well, which was
Yeah,
which was
exactly.
mad.
But against Spain, you're never going to get the ball, so you have to be disciplined in your shape. And in the first half, for all of the possession that Spain had, Pickford never really had to do much,
No,
but you could tell that they were chasing, and they were one pass away. The amount of in the final third, the amount of flicks around the corner that were a fraction off, and you just knew that you get one of these right and they're in. They were never a million miles away, and it got to 0-0 at halftime. And it was funny enough, I flicked Joe Wyman's stream on, and Joe was delighted with life. It's 0-0, and I'd say playing up to the camera a little bit, but you could tell that he knew that Spain aren't far off. Happy enough with how England played. They're in the game. You're 0-0, but they were never really in it. If you know what I mean, they had the best chance of the half from that corner. But when you're looking at England and their best chances really were coming from set pieces, it's like that's not enough. You need more. And I think they were badly let down by a couple of passengers that Southgate carried throughout the tournament, and Spain exposed it. Not many sides did. Most sides, England got away with it, but against Spain, they were found really badly wanting. And Southgate tactically was so agricultural, so naive. I mean, you're playing with a back four, and every single one, a back four and a midfield three, every single one of them play for sides that play out from the back that are comfortable on the ball.
back
They
five.
take the ball under. Yeah, back three, back five, back four. They were back four at times when they dropped into their own final third. Saka tucked in and made it a five, but they were 4-2-3-1, then a five in their own final third. They were trying to be too much rather than settle on one thing. But how Southgate told Pickford, go along to Harry Kane and play from there. Kane couldn't jump. Laporte was all over him, and Lamont, they just totally dominated him in the air. And for 45 minutes, everything went long, and they couldn't work out how to get up the pitch. It was when they did get up the pitch for that period, that 5-minute period, they won their corner, and it wasn't even a chance really. Foden stuck a left foot out, and he was looking to get a shot back on target. It wasn't really a shot; just happened to go back to the keeper. But Spain were almost in total control. And the one thing I will say about the whole game, the second half, there were 3 brilliant goals. There were 3 absolutely outstanding goals.
Yeah, they were.
You know, and credit where it's due. You've got to hand it to them. They were the first goal. Kyle Walker was found out, and really good finish.
You're skipping ahead now, Kev.
I'll go on. Sorry, go on. You chip in there.
No, I was just going to say, I think you're right. I think he was agricultural in what he was doing, and that suffocated the players that he wanted to impact the game. You know, like I thought Luke Shaw had a good game. I thought he had a really good game. He was solid. He was trying to get forward. He was a threat. He was an actual threat. But when you looked at Saka, right, Saka was abysmal. Yeah. Like abysmal. Like the amount of times he had to go, could have had a go at Cucurella, right? Especially in the first half where England managed to switch the ball quite well to him, and he was 1-on-1. And in fairness to Kyle Walker was busting a gut to run outside him or inside him to take somebody away so we could have a go at Cucurella, and he just didn't. And I was like, right, my thinking behind it was, right, if Harry Kane is not fit, right, where do you want him? You don't want him dropping deep. You don't want him in physical confrontation with the 2 centre-backs, right? One of them's name's Laporte and the other lad, I can't remember his name.
Lamond.
Yeah.
No, it's not
right.
Lamond, but it's a French name.
Normand or something like that, isn't it? Lamond or something, yeah. So you don't want him in physical confrontation there because he's quite good physically, Harry Kane. But the problem was when the ball was bouncing off him, he just hadn't got the movement to get away from these guys. So where do you want him? Put him in the box. Get him anywhere from 8 to 14, 15 yards out in the centre of the goal. That's where you want Harry Kane, right? And the only way to make him effective there is to continue using Shaw down that left-hand side and get balls in the box, or Saka must go at Cucurella. Whether that's go with him, cut back and get a ball in the box quick, or go outside him and use your right foot. And he done neither of them. So what happened was, Spain realised very quickly that Cucurella was dealing with Saka, physically especially. Saka didn't want to know. But against that, they knew if they funneled the ball out to that side, it was going to take an awful lot for England for Kane to get involved, Bellingham to get involved, Foden to get involved. And what happened was they were all attracted there, and Spain were just looking for that one little mistake, and Spain were pouncing, and they were gone. You know, that sort of way.
The flip side of that as well, on that side of the pitch, if Cucurella was 1-on-1 and handling Saka, Nico Williams didn't have to trap back.
No,
so that in itself kept Kyle Walker honest.
Yeah, and I think at one stage during the game, Kyle Walker does make a run. Saka tries to pass it inside. I think it gets away from Foden, and Spain play 2 passes. Nico Williams is out on his own because Walker's gone the other way, and Nico Williams is gone like a bleeding light. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just, for me, that side of the pitch was thing. I thought Bellingham was atrocious. Like Bellingham for me should have been getting right in around Rodri and saying, right, I'm going to really get on Rodri and the other guy, Ruiz. Yeah, who I thought was terrible, by the way, Ruiz. I didn't think he had a good game at all. I thought he was rash. I thought he gave the ball away. And it just, it gets to 0-0 at half time, and you're thinking, right, can they change something? And then I see Rodri's not coming back on the pitch, right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's a huge boost for England when Rodri's not coming back on, and they bring on Zubamendi, who was really good, in fairness to him. Yeah. Is he with Sociedad, is he? He's been linked with an awful lot. Is it Sociedad he's with?
He's been heavily, I think it's Sociedad, but he's been heavily linked with Arsenal.
Yeah, he's a really fucking good player.
Very good player, yeah.
But the second half starts, and England don't identify what their issues are, but Spain identify them immediately. The problem they have is that Yamal is getting the ball stood still, out wide, where Luke Shaw can say to him, push it down the wing if you want and I'll chase you, but we don't mind because you're really wide, right? Or come into traffic. But immediately they realise their issue, and they play a ball out, and the ball that's played from the sideline, it's a brilliant football, maybe Carvajal flicks one around the corner, but he flicks it into a position where Yamal is running into space inside of Luke Shaw, and now people have to come in. And in fairness, I think it's Morata and maybe Almo make runs to to take players away. And what's his name, Williams? It's a brilliant finish. It's an absolutely brilliant finish. But that was Spain. That was Spain identifying where were we getting space and what were we able to do with it. He was getting loads of the ball, you man. Loads of it.
Yeah.
But the problem was, you were going, run inside and we'll kill you, and try to take him outside, but don't mind, we'll deal with, because it was only Morata in the box if you're crossing it. Stones and Guy would have been confident enough to deal with that. But look, a minute in, they realised, instead of Carvalho getting it and playing it down the side, put it into space there and let him. And once he's away from Luke Shaw, he's away from Luke Shaw. And then Guy, Stones are pulled away by Olmo and Morata. And next thing, Walker is exposed, not for the first time. People go on as if Walker's a great defender. He's far from it. But it's a really good finish, Kev. Like, it's to take that first time in a final like that at the age you're at, and he just pops it across Pickford. And people said, Pickford, it's by him. It's past him before he can even react, in fairness to him. And he makes a cut. And I just want to put on record, he makes some really good saves last night, Pickford.
Yeah, he did,
He's not at fault for me for either of the goals. And he keeps them in it. He makes a good one from Yamal. He makes one or two really good ones. But then England do something that I think they should have done from the start of the game, and possibly the start of the game before that again, is they bring on Watkins and they bring on Palmer, right? Both of them should have started the game, in my opinion, and that's not hindsight, Kev.
No.
Right? Because when they bring on Palmer, he's not an out and out winger like Saka. He feels to me like he's a number 10 he's playing off the right, and what that means is if you have a really willing runner in Watkins, you'll get movement, you'll get chances, and I just couldn't believe, like, he gets a really good goal as well. It's a slight nick off the Spanish fella, but it's a really good move. It's a nice touch by Bellingham, actually. It's probably one of the things he does do in the game. But when I looked at them subs coming on, I thought, Kev, they should have been on from the start. If Kane isn't fit, you tell Kane, listen, we're going to put you on for the last 25 minutes here. We have to stay in. We have to occupy these fellas. Because if you don't occupy Spain, Kev, they'll play into the ground. England wouldn't have lasted an extra time anyway.
No, the thing is, when you look at the Spanish centre-backs, right, neither of them are blessed with pace, but positionally they're very, very good. And in Laporte was never blessed with pace, but his ability to read a game has got him out of jail so many times. And it did again, because he was never tested in behind until Watkins came on. Kane should have been nowhere near that starting 11 from the start of the tournament. He was poor all the way through. For me, we'll get onto it in a bit, but he had an awful tournament. Everything that he did, I don't think he did it. In 7 games, he can put his hand up and say, "I had a good 90 minutes there." I think he
scores.
All right.
He scores 3 goals in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
One of them was a penalty.
Yeah.
One was a header at the back post after just headed back across by Ivan Toney.
In extra
and
time,
the other one is a tap in after Denmark go asleep.
Yeah.
He's not involved. I don't think he's involved. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's not involved in a goal or even a good move for England where he's central to it. He's just not.
Yeah. I saw a stat, and I don't know how true it is, but I think it was an Opta stat, where in the last tournament and this tournament, he's had less touches in the box than Jack Grealish, who played 20 minutes in the Europa League or the European final at Wembley in 2021.
Yeah.
He was so far removed from the Harry Kane you saw at Bayern Munich and the Harry Kane we were accustomed to seeing at Spurs, where he could drop deep and link play and get involved.
And he would have dragged Laporte all around that pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And
he was
the likes
nothing like that.
Your Saka, in particular, because off the left you had Shaw, but if you're playing that, you're looking for your Saka and you're looking for your Bellingham to make runs, or even your Foden, and he would have dragged Laporte everywhere and said, "I'm going to leave gaps in there for you to get in on top of," and he just couldn't do it.
It never happened. And to be fair, the only other thing that you'd look at, the off the ball running, the vision, it was the press. None of it existed. It was so disjointed, and it was almost a case of they were afraid to press because of the threat that Spain had going the other way and the ability that players like Supermendi and Fabian Ruiz have to pick a pass. Danny Olmo is one of the closest players I've seen to Firmino in a long time,
Yeah, he
playing
was really
that
good.
false nine, that number 10 role, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it.
he just played as
But
a
that
10
link,
and switched with
yeah,
Morata.
that link man, he is so good at it. And it's catch-22. You either got to commit to the press or drop to the halfway line.
But the
And
thing for me is, Kev, right? The thing for me is that you have to ask the question of Spain by saying we're going to press you, and are you willing to put the ball over the back of us, right? Now, if you look at it, John Stones, Mark Guy, even Shaw, but definitely Walker, have the pace to deal with what you're looking at over the back, right? And there's only two guys in that Spain team are running off the back of you. It's Nico Williams and it's Yamal. That's all
yeah,
that's running off the back of you. But if you're putting pressure up the pitch, it has to be an exquisite ball for you to get it, A, between Shaw and Guy, right? Or between Stones and Walker. It has to be an unbelievable ball, right? To get one of those guys in behind to the point where they're going to get a chance. And I'm not saying push to the halfway line, but come up the
no,
pitch a bit. Let your midfield go and think. Like, Rice was anonymous.
yeah,
And the reason Rice was anonymous is because, one, they didn't want to play football through him, right? Well, he doesn't really play football through because he hides behind Spanish players and opposition players, in my opinion, when he plays in that position, right? But second of all, they were so deep then that he literally became another centre-back. He didn't become a midfielder that went in and won things. He just didn't. The amount of times you see him winning the ball, he's back in his own, the corner of his box, and
but that's what they did. They
But
dropped the centre back
but you
and
have
let
to
the two
adjust to that.
fullbacks go. But the two fullbacks didn't go. That
Yeah,
was the whole problem.
yeah,
I thought, and I agree with you. Luke Shaw, in fairness, that was his first start in any kind of a football match since February.
really good.
So the fact that he managed to do 90 minutes against that Spanish side, all credit to him because he looked good all the way through the game. But Walker going the other way, the amount of crosses he hit that were overhit, he had one cross that went out for a throw on the opposite side, for God's sake.
Yeah,
But yeah, look, I mean, even at 1-1, with the second goal, again, it was just the composure in the finish. Because just before that, they had a couple of half chances
yeah,
and for some good saves. But the composure in the finish for someone who's literally, if he was living in Ireland, he'd be going into his starting his fifth year in secondary school in September. He's just turned 17 years of age. He'd be just coming out of transition year. And the composure he showed in the final to do that, after not being brilliant in the first half, but he
no,
was there. And he just sat Pickford down. And again, Pickford could do absolutely nothing about it. It was just a really, really good goal. And it was a deserved goal. And I don't think there was any arguments about it.
yeah. I think the way that the ball is played out to the left towards Cucurella, and you're thinking again, Walker's trying to sprint over there to recover.
Yeah.
You know, and this is at a stage now where Parma's on the pitch, so Walker, they're gone, for me, they're going back into a back four. Do you know what I mean? And Walker's trying to get back there. Cucurella smashed it across, and I can't remember that man's name that puts it in there.
Oyarzabal.
Yeah, he always looks, I don't know what age he is, but he looks about 40. But again, that run, you know, and in a final where, you know, everything's ebbing and flowing, it's 85 minutes, the precision of that move was actually underrated because the precision of the pass to Cucurella to allow him to just put it in first time, and for him to make that run, and he's literally onside by a kneecap, do you know what I mean? And he finishes it. It was a really, really good goal. But then again, when England score, they fall off them. In a time
Yeah.
where Spain looked a bit shaky, where they're going to make a couple of changes, England seemed to have the crowd behind them. The English crowd were really loud. They were winning a couple of balls in midfield and getting at the Parma, and you're like, just keep going. Keep going.
It was there to be won.
But
It was
the
there
thing
to
is,
be won.
listen, when you drop off Spain, you know you're gonna concede chances, right?
Yeah.
So why not concede the odd chance by being, even with you being a threat, rather than conceding chances and your threat level just diminishing all the time. You know, you have that one where Rice heads it, it's off the line, it's off the keeper, it's off the line by Olmo.
It's a
You
brilliant
have,
it was a
yeah,
brilliant clearance.
and you have that. Don't get me wrong, but I think there's less chance of them conceding that goal if they're actually being a threat to Spain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the threat level starts to drop off. That's why you see Cucurella that far off the pitch. He's that far off the pitch because the threat level is dropping. If the threat level has kept going up and up and up, Cucurella's looking going, I can't leave that Parma fella for a second.
They're looking at the clock the same way England were looking at the clock.
Of course they were.
But the way the game unfolded, and bear in mind the Spanish made the changes, and they were about to make more. So both sides were settling in, getting ready for extra time.
Yeah.
And then the goal changed everything.
Yeah.
But
look, overall in the game, they deserved the win. I think England, much of the same from them, to be honest with you, as you've seen across the tournament. But I think that one will be the one, you know, it's a bit like if they'd went out against the Dutch or they went out against fucking whoever, Slovakia, Switzerland, wherever they were playing, you'd have kicked themselves. But that one last night, I think they, Gareth Southgate comes out and says, where played the Spain, they're probably the better team and blah, blah, blah. But part of the England setup will look and go, you know what, if we'd have just fucking pushed it a little bit more, they might have been the one that nicked one. You know, the sort of,
yeah.
Or even got them, it probably would have guaranteed them getting the extra time because they were making Spain think. Spain knew after England scored in 77, I think, right?
Yeah. The momentum was with England then.
But 2 minutes later, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
2 minutes later, it's gone. The momentum's gone out of England.
Yeah.
And Spain knew that. So Spain were making changes to go, we're comfortable. We'll make the odd change to bring on Nacho, don't they, and things like that. And you're kind of going, they know where they're going with this. But England just kept falling back and back. And you see, the thing is, if they'd got the extra time, England wouldn't have changed it. They wouldn't have changed it and tried to go back on the front foot. I think they would have looked and went, look, see what we can get out of this. But that's how it goes. Anyway, across the tournament, I think you've probably mentioned one there, but let's start with players that really kind of let you down. One or two players that you thought going into the tournament, this fella's going to be the bizzo. And, he'll tear it up and he'll be a huge player and he could be a deciding factor in the tournament. What ones let you down, Kev?
Kylian Mbappe.
I'm with you.
Foremost.
Yeah, I'm with you on
it. Best player in the world, apparently. Got his dream move to Real Madrid. Huge money, huge fee, no fee, but huge money involved in this deal.
Yeah.
The star boy of world football is up and coming now that Ronaldo and Messi.
It's a £500 million deal, yeah.
And you're looking at it, and bar getting his nose smashed, he was virtually anonymous in the whole tournament. And sides are comfortable dealing with his pace. They know how he runs. They know how he runs with the ball. They know the lines that he likes to take. They're getting better and better at dealing with him. And I still don't know when he goes to Madrid, what is he? He's not a 9. He's a winger who cuts in like a Sadio Mane type player for me. Yeah. And this, to me, is move to Madrid. It's a pure vanity move by Madrid. Vanity move. It's not a football move.
It's funny you said that, right?
It's a business move.
It's a business move, but it probably is a football move because they win fucking a lot of the tournaments they enter. But the vanity thing is a weird one, right? Because I think if you look at, is it 2018 World Cup he wins?
Yeah.
Right? He's brilliant in the final in 22. And it's like the coming of the second coming of God and stuff like that. And although it was huge hype around him, there were so many big names in those tournaments. You still had Ronaldo banging around. You still had Messi was in the World Cups. You had great players from loads of different teams. Even if you look at the likes of Lewandowski was probably in those tournaments. You know what I mean? There was players there that were big players. This one felt like it was Kylian Mbappe's tournament. And I think the spotlight being shone on him, I don't think I'm done him any favours. I think he actually might have got a little bit distracted by the whole thing. It was all about Mbappe when he started, where he was starting, who was going to play with him, what France were going to do, their heavy favourites, bump Kylian Mbappe, captain of France, the sort of way. And I don't think it done him any favours. Like, he gets his nose smashed, right? He's not doing that in the games.
No.
And part of it is for me, part of it is himself smelling himself. But I think the make of what around him just didn't work. It just did not work. They should have stuck. They should have fucking started Giroud.
Yeah.
They should have
They
started
needed.
Giroud and said, "Listen, we're going to play it up to you. And every time you go up in that fucking air, he's going to run between the center. He's going to run off the back of you and inside his fullback. And we're going to have to go that little bit direct." But he doesn't. He goes with Kante. He goes with Rabiot, and he goes with Griezmann in those three.
Yeah.
Now Griezmann changes because of injury to Mbappe. Griezmann ends up going up front. You bring in, I think it might have been Tchouaméni. But it was a very kind of structured midfield. I think Thuram is a bit hit and miss. Dembele, you know.
Oh, he's a show pony.
Yeah, but
he's a
but
pure
the thing is,
pony.
the thing about Dembele is that he's so fucking fast and quick that France should have been looking to play a bit more expansive and get it to him. But he didn't. He looked thing. But I'm with you on Mbappe. I think he was poor, and I don't think the nose injury is any excuse. You know, like there was a game there where the ball hits him in the side of the head. Right, he has the mask on. The ball hits him in the side, and he goes down holding his nose. That genuinely happened, and I went, "This fella's head isn't in this whatsoever." But I agree with you on Mbappe. Is there anybody else? I think Harry Kane's an obvious one, but we've spoken.
Harry Kane is the obvious one, and I think we've covered him. I'd like to say Ronaldo,
but we expected much of him.
No, but to me, when you look at the biggest disappointment was the Portuguese manager, Martinez, for not seeing what was in front of his face and not being brave enough to make the right decision for the sake of Portugal.
Yeah,
because that Portuguese squad technically is so good. They've got so many good players in that squad. Ronaldo was such a hindrance.
But the thing is, Kev, right? Because they play him, they end up in situations that are actually perfect for him to come off the bench and influence.
Yeah.
So they end up in so many games where it's 1-1 on 80, we into extra time. And look, Ronaldo's 39 years of age. He's playing football since he's fucking 17. I don't care how fit he is. I don't care, like, if he eats fucking lettuce leaves all day, right? There's only so much you can do as a footballer. And no matter, he's been a fantastic footballer, right? Well, off the scale good. But when you look at it, Martinez, and it's asking a lot for Martinez because I think he's fucking brutal. But Martinez should have been saying to him, "Listen, Cristiano, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna send this team out for 70 minutes to run the fuck out of the opposition's team. If we're 2-0 up, you're going on. If we're 1-0 up, you're going on. If we're 0 all, 1-0 down, you're going on. We're gonna make this a 20-minute game. We're gonna make it a 20-minute game, or we're gonna make you the 20-minute master of this fucking tournament, right?" But because of it, they ended up in all these situations where it's tight with 20 to go or into extra time, and he's still on the fucking pitch after playing since the start. Why aren't you starting Jota and saying to Jota, "You go out there"? And it was so fucking bad. I'm with you again.
There was one game. There was one game that Ronaldo was playing, and I remember Jota had come off the bench, and Jota was making the right runs, but Ronaldo was occupying the space.
Yeah,
and you're literally like, "What are you doing there? Do you know what I mean? Get out the way." And
but aren't they 1-0 down against? Aren't they 1-0 down against someone? Jota comes on, scores, gets disallowed, and then they end up winning the game. They end up winning the game with your man Conceição, wasn't it? Was it?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Was that one of the knockout games?
Was it a knockout or it might have been? No, I think it might have been a group game. But I just kept looking at this during it going, why isn't he just a 20-minute impact player? And the funny thing is, right? I think
he's scared the shit out of sides.
But
scared the shit out of sides coming off the bench.
Of course you would, because what happens in these games with 20 minutes left is teams drop back, right? He doesn't have to run in behind. He doesn't have to. He literally has to say, "Listen, go and stand in the fucking box there, and we'll put it in, ground level, knee height, waist height, head height above you," and he's as good as anybody. But just to fucking massage this guy's ego, he's playing from the start. He'd nothing left. He'd nothing left after 80, but he just continues to do it. Whereas any sane person, in my opinion, says to him, "You're not starting, right?" But if we're 2-0 up, you probably want to get yourself a goal. Another goal to the tally. If we're 3-0 up, you go on and you get another goal to your tally. We're into the next round. If we're 1-0 down, you can come on and be the impact player. And I promise you, if they do that, they probably get a bit further in the tournament. And if they win it, no one's gonna fucking remember that he was on the pitch for 20 minutes at a time. All they remember is Ronaldo captains Portugal to another fucking European Championship. It was.
It's
But
absolutely
listen,
insane.
it's a bizarre fucking thing from the Portuguese FA to make that man the manager. And the only reason, and I genuinely believe this, the only reason they done it for me is because of who Ronaldo is and the influence he has. So just bring a fella in that looks nice, but he'll be fucking told what to do. And that's the only reason I can think of it. But yeah, I don't think Ronaldo is one. I just think the way
Who would you go with that? Who would you say?
It's hard not to look towards France. It's hard not to look towards them. But then I look around, like Ashley says there, Szoboszlai. I kind of agree with that. I think he's the hungry captain, and I don't think he had any impact. Then you look
Look at Italy. I think
the thing with Italy is,
you don't. Italy are a mile off of where they used to be,
yeah, but
but
remember,
they still have good players. But I
yeah,
think they're
but they've
building.
lost a lot of quality since they won it 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, at
And
the
I
back
think
as
it
well.
showed. I think it showed as it went on. And watching them going out to Switzerland, just nothing in the tank. Like literally tuning down to Switzerland after 48 minutes and going, yeah, we've nothing left. We're just going to play out this game, And then I look at Germany. They weren't bad, Germany. I don't think there was anyone that stood out and you went, he was just not good. He was just not good. I just think they met a Spain team that just pipped them. I think, to be fair, I think if Germany get through that, they probably want to win it.
Probably won it. Yeah.
I think the winners come from that game. If that's being honest. But overall, I think Kane is a huge standout one, and Mbappe for me is a huge standout one. Bellingham gets a good goal, but I don't think Bellingham's good in the tournament.
I thought Bellingham had a really good first half
Against Serbia.
And from then on, it just went downhill and downhill and downhill for him. Again, in the final, I don't think he was used right, but at the same time, he was asked to try and get at Carvajal and not allow Carvajal to get forward and help Yamal, which in large part he did. He nicked the ball off Carvajal a few times as well. His pressing was okay to get the ball off of him, but for a guy who's moved for the kind of money that he's moved and the way he's talked about, I just think this is another end of a season where he's just fallen off a bit, and probably to be expected with the volume of football that he's played over the last 2 years.
Regardless of what he thinks of himself.
There's more to come from him. But I think he needs to sort himself out a bit.
I just think with the English side, I just expected, if Kane's going to do that, I expected someone to take it and just be the absolute national hero that the English want. And I thought Bellingham might be that.
I thought Foden had a...
He got better as it went on.
Yeah, but he was never used right. Again, it's a lot of his... I think England got to a final, and considering it's not long ago that it was Iceland that knocked them out in a group game of in a knockout of a European Championship, to turn that around and get to 2 finals and a semi-final in that period of time, and you look at the squad and you look at what's coming through, whoever takes on that job after Southgate goes, he's got a good core group of players
he's a really good group of players
at the right age. But the ones that are coming up, the ones that won the Euros, the last European Under-21 Championship, that they're going to kick on and come through as well to push the ones that are already there. I think they're going to be knocking it around. They're going to be in the discussions for winning tournaments for the next 2 or 3. Whether they get one over the line or not, I don't know, but I doubt it. I think it's a mentality thing until they get one over the line. Kind of like Spain. Kind of like Spain in 08. They need to get one over the line.
Yeah, but when you look at it then, you're talking about the Italians will probably come back stronger in a couple of years in the World Cup again. Germany are in a bit of a... I think they're in a bit of a changeover process as well. But
Yeah.
they have players that are just can light it up, like in Wirtz and Musiala. And do you know what? I'll throw one at you. Owen Brooks is there. Chiesa not the same player in his opinion. I'm with you on that. I thought Chiesa showed flashes at times, but just doesn't look that electric that he always did. I'll throw one at you though. Sané off Germany didn't impress me one bit.
No, I think Leroy Sané, if you're at Bayern Munich, you'd rather him go out the door than Kingsley Coman. The fact that Bayern Munich have brought in Michael Elise to play in Sané's position tells its own story. I think Nagelsmann used him off the bench quite a bit. He's not the player that he was at Man City. He had a really good 6 months at Bayern, but I I don't know if there's better there for Germany at the moment, but I think there's better coming through.
Just looked like,
Um,
when I was looking to Germany, even in that game against Denmark, I was looking at Musiala, I was looking at Florian Wirtz. I think he comes on. Even the guy that's mad looking that comes up front, the centre forward.
Fulkrug,
Yeah,
love him.
even him, and then even like Kimmich pushing from midfield, and I just thought to myself, when you're thinking about who's going to win this for Germany, Sané never really entered my mind
No,
because I actually feel that he's like Kevin Boss is there, never been the same since the ACL. Before that, he was unbelievable. He was unbelievable off the left because he's a left winger. He's not. I don't see Sané as the guy where you play him on the right and he cuts inside and he does this. To me, he's power, left hand side. And yeah, it might look like you're a bit limited because you're all left footed, but it worked because he was so fucking good at it. And it didn't really catch for me in the whole tournament. But look, players have good tournaments, players have poor ones.
be interested to see what happens with him at Bayern.
It will
See
be,
what
it
happens.
will be. I
See what
think,
Vincent Company does.
yeah,
Because
I just
Company
think,
knows him, so
I just think that if I'm playing Leroy Sané, if I'm signing Leroy Sané for Liverpool tomorrow, I'm not signing him as a Salah replacement. I'm signing him as a Diaz replacement. That's how left-sided I think he should be. And look, I'm only a sap, like you know what I mean. But
no. But
whenever I watch him, I just think,
stood out,
where is he down the left-hand side? He's a wand of a
he
left
stood
foot.
out for Man City on the left.
Of course he did. He was brilliant for
His
Man City.
games against Liverpool down the left
Brilliant.
for City he was outrageous at times.
Yeah, brilliant.
But I don't know. The other side of that, though, you look at it, you flip it. Who would your out of nowhere player? Because
Yeah, we leave our favorite.
but
We leave our favorite ones till the end. Out of nowhere player. Not that you see, and it could be any player for me because I don't watch enough football. I watch Liverpool,
but that's
some
the beauty of it because
yeah,
someone will stand out for you.
some players that kind of I kind of went, Jesus, he's good. I was dying to see Javi Simmons, and I don't know if it's there. I just don't, Kev. If you get a picture of Javi Simmons, right, and just kind of block out his hair, it looks exactly like Philip Coutinho, and he looks a moany little prick as well, right? Like he's just moaning about everything, right? Someone passed the ball into him the other night against England. He took a touch, defender went fucking through the back of him. He starts moaning at his own fullback. You know what I mean? Like mad stuff. But players that come out of nowhere, they're also well known. But against that, like I said, I don't watch an awful lot of football. Like I haven't seen an awful lot of Yaman Yamal, but I don't really want to rob that because he's one of the ones at the end. I haven't seen an awful lot of him. And the other fella on the other side, I want to take him because we'll probably talk about him later. I'll tell you who never really caught me attention, but did in this tournament. It's the left back off France, Hernandez.
Yeah, Theo Hernandez. Yeah,
He is a fucking Rolls Royce of a left back.
Yeah.
And people go, "What? You've never seen him?" I have seen him, but when you watch France, you're thinking, even going back to the last World Cup, you're thinking of all these players in midfield, creative, destroyers. All these. That left back is just up and down and up and down. He's absolutely brilliant. He stood out for me. There was a couple of the Swiss players I liked. Someone mentions there, the name's gone. I think he's with Real Madrid actually. This young lad, Guler.
Yeah, Goulart,
Ashley
yeah,
says that he's the Turkish lad. Yeah, really liked him as well. But it's like when I'm watching do you know what I did like? But I think the only thing that'll kill him if it was in England would be his lack of pace. It's the guy in the middle of the midfield with Holland, the black haired lad.
Reinders,
Is it Reinders? Is it?
Reinders,
Yeah,
Reinders. I think his name is.
he's
Yeah,
a really fucking good footballer.
exactly. Yeah,
But I think I just look at him and I think, has he got that yard? You know what I mean? And I'm not sure he has. He feels like a. Do you know what he feels like? He feels like, and I don't know what age he is. He looks to me like, a top midfielder that's coming towards the back end of their career, and it's all in the brain and it's fucking all
yeah.
there. But has he got the legs to go? And I'm not too sure.
I think he's a really good footballer. You know,
Faris
he's
Kelly, says Robert Maguire.
yeah,
Come here. Listen, honestly, right? I'd pay twice into a football ground to watch him play, because
yeah,
honestly, he is probably the player in the tournament when he got it where I just sat forward, genuinely.
yeah.
And I know we've all these deadly players and all, and we'll talk about a few in a minute. But that fella, when he gets on the ball, it's like, it's just fucking hairs in the back of your neck stuff standing up. That's how exciting he is for me. But he's crazy money. If you were to ask me who Liverpool were to sign on the left hand side, it would be him all
All day
fucking
long,
day. Because
all day long.
you would have such a fucking great time watching him. Who jumped off the page for you? Baumgartner, that's
Goulart,
mentioned.
Goulart was one because I knew he'd gone to Madrid. I knew there was a lot of hype about him. I'd never watched him at all, but I knew there was a lot of hype about him from Turkey going to Madrid, and they were comparing him, a bit Mesut Ozil type hype,
Yeah,
and that was the first time I'd seen him properly, and I don't know where or how he fits into Madrid. I don't think he does. I think Madrid will probably flip him
yeah,
in the next. I think they're very similar to what they did with Odegaard.
yeah.
I don't know where he ends up, but he has the he with the right move could be an absolute superstar in the making. He has
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
He's so intelligent for a player of his age as well.
yeah,
Not blessed with a world of pace, but quick enough.
yeah.
But his ability to ping a pass and to get a shot off, he just looks a joy to watch. Kvaratskhelia, another one.
But
Apparently, he had a really quiet season.
Kvaratskhelia is one you knew. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
but
everyone
he
knows.
had a
Like
really
Cantor's
he
there.
had a
Is
quiet
Cantor's?
season for Napoli. That's why I was
Yeah,
interested to see how he got on and set the tournament alight.
yeah.
But the other one that I looked at that really surprised me, and he's not a young player, he's an old player, is Pepe at Portugal. We'd done a pre-tournament
Yeah,
show and Ashley was going on about, we were chatting about Portugal, and I said, they'll win nothing with that fella at the back. He's just one step short of a walking stick.
he was
He was
brilliant.
phenomenal.
Yeah, he
He
was
was
brilliant.
absolutely
He was. And
phenomenal.
there was one
Look, I
piece
thought it
in the
was,
game against France where I think Thuram pushes a by him.
yeah,
And you're thinking that's game over, and he gets back to him. I don't know how the fuck he gets back to him. Cantor says there, the guy who come on for Rodri last night was brilliant. Yeah,
Zubimendi.
Zubimendi. He's getting quite a few
Zubimendi,
minutes. He was really good because the come on there last night when you're coming off for Rodri, who's I think gets player of the tournament.
Yeah, he does.
Was no mean feat to come on there, and they just continued on as if nothing had changed. Super Dizzle says, how are Madrid going to fit in Goulart, Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinny Jr. and Bellingham? Listen, they'll find a way, or they'll, like Kev said, they'll flip one of them. But the thing with Goulart is now, after having that tournament that he has had, getting to a quarter final with Turkey, his stock could be so fucking high, and someone will take a chance on him. But he looked a really, really, really good player. Kev, player of the tournament for you, who was it?
For me, it's Nico Williams.
I couldn't agree more.
I absolutely. I look at the other guy, Lamau, and yeah, he's the easy one to go for. I just think Nico Williams is everything you want in a modern day winger. He's seriously quick. He's glides with the ball. There was in one of the group games. I think it was one of the first group games. He does a ball roll flick, as if he's just walking with the ball in the park. Doesn't even think about it. It was kind of if Ronaldinho did it, it would be on YouTube. and it was just so casual with the way he controls the football. He manipulates the ball, and he stands a winger up or a fullback up, and you must be bricking it because he can go both ways,
Yeah, and
and
that's the
is
thing.
all the tools to be anything.
I think he's the hottest property in world football as of today.
And I love his story. I love his story. The
Is
fact that he's
is Inaki Williams' brother?
Inaki Williams' brother, yeah.
Yeah. I
And
wasn't sure
Inaki
if it was
Williams,
brother, uncle, whatever.
yeah. Inaki Williams, for anyone who doesn't know, seriously quick striker.
Yeah,
One
linked with
club
Liverpool
man,
on multiple
yeah,
occasions as well.
multiple occasions. And this kid has literally seen everything that his brother has done, and he's going to better it by street. I don't know where he ends up or who he ends up with,
The
whether
talk
it's
is
Barcelona or whatever.
there's talk is that there's a £57 million release clause in his contract,
Yeah,
but he's currently on 170 grand a week now.
I wouldn't care. Couldn't give a monkeys.
I would
Couldn't care
listen.
less.
Come here. I think there's so many candidates to play out left there, but if you're going for someone in the Mane sort of ilk, and I'm talking Mane 2016, ilk, there's nobody comes close to that fella. Because I've watched them now. I watched a bit of his group games, but I watched them against Germany. I think Germany was the round of 16, was it? No, he was. I watched him against
right.
Georgia. I watched the whole game against Georgia, and I just thought he was outstanding. Germany, the semi-final, and last night, and the finishes, like the finishes are just like unerring. Like there's just no even thought about it.
Yeah.
Like you said, he glides across the ground. He doesn't run. He glides across the ground. It's like his feet aren't touching the ground. It's like he's hovering across the ground. He goes inside. He goes outside. He's not afraid to cross with his left. Come inside, cross with his right. He's not afraid to shoot with either. He's strong. He's like, you get fellas that are, like going back, and here's one for you, like Theo Walcott. When I first saw Theo Walcott running, I thought that fucker floated. Because his legs can't move that fucking fast on the ground. It looked like he floated. But the thing with Theo Walcott was, he was all right footed. All right footed. Wasn't that strong, lightning fast. Nico Williams, for me, I think he's the player of the tournament. I know Rodri gets it, and you can argue the toss. When I look at this fella, I just think to myself, if somebody isn't just putting 57 million on the table now and going, we're taking him, and we're going to give him 250 grand a week, just give a fucking to him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because at the end of the day,
contract,
even if in 3 years' time it's not working, he's still so fucking young that you get 60 million back from anyway, right?
Exactly.
And it'll end up costing you 25, 30 million as an experiment, and it didn't work. But I think I
can't see it not working. I think the Premier League is tailor made for it.
The thing about me is that I'd worry if I watched him and I thought, he's so fast, he can go inside you, outside you. I'd say he can head a ball because he's not the fucking smallest fella in the world.
He's 6'2".
Yeah, he's not small. He's quick, he's strong. He has, and on top of that, like when you see players like that, you think he's athletic, he's fast. Is he skillful? There's a bit of skill about him. He has everything. Like, you could genuinely say to him, listen, when you go in and play as a 10, we don't want to use your pace at all, just use your footwork and your vision. He could do it, right?
He can play left or right.
He can do anything.
Play left or right.
And he's absolutely, I think he's breathtaking. Yeah. And honestly, I haven't seen him. I'd be surprised if I've seen him playing football before fucking the Euros. That's being honest with you. I don't watch Athletic Bilbao, right?
No.
I don't watch them. I don't watch fucking Spain. But when this fella showed up, I went, who the fuck is this?
Funny enough, I remember you actually saying that into a group. Who's this guy? Yeah. What the hell's going on here?
And listen, I'm in my early 40s. I have 2 young kids. I'm non-stop in my house with kids and work. I never stop. Yeah. Kev will tell you, I don't stop until 2 and 3 every morning, and I'm back up at 8, right? I'm just mad. But there was something so refreshing about turning on the TV and going, what in the name of fuck is this? Like, it was, do you know what it was? When I see a player that quick, I think to myself, but has he got an end product? Can he see a pass? Can he, and you'll always, he's just a bit of a road runner.
There's always something missing.
But there's not
with players like that, there's always something.
But Kev does not here. Because you ask the question, can he score goals? Yeah. Left foot, right foot. Can he make them? Yeah. Is he physical? Yeah. Is he fast? Yeah. Can he keep the ball? Yeah. And can he move the ball between his feet? Is he good? He has
And he tracks back.
everything. He was
Tracks back.
absolutely everything.
Yeah. I think an honourable mention, though, and I'll just give him a quick shout out, is Olmo.
Olmo, yeah.
Because he comes in for Pedri. He comes off the bench for a couple of games. Then he comes in for Pedri. Pedri had a really good tournament up until he got his injury. And it was an upgrade. He just kicked on. It's like we all knew about him because we'd seen him at Leipzig. And it's like, yeah, he's a Spanish kid. He went to Germany really young. You know, what's the story there? Why is he still in Germany? He ain't going to be in Germany for much longer. You know, he is a special, special player. He had an outstanding tournament.
He's a really good player. Almost being linked to Man City. He was before the tournament even started. Paul says Williams is the type of sign that could win you a league title. I agree. Owen Book says Almo was a standard performer. I thought Sabitzer had a great tournament as well. Sabitzer, was he with United?
He went on loan from Bayern Munich. From Bayern Munich to United, yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to read this out because Jerry never agrees with me. He says, well said, Gav. In fairness, I couldn't agree more. So there you go. Mark that one up. Me and Jerry agree on something. Ashley says, not a popular flashy choice, but Fabian Ruiz is another guy who stood out all tournament. I don't know how. I didn't know how good he was, quietly orchestrating everything. Really good, but I tell you something. He plays last night, doesn't he? Beside Rodri.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after 20 minutes, I would have given him a dig across the back of the head.
Yeah.
Because the only things England were getting out of Spain last night was Ruiz giving the ball away to them cheaply.
Yeah.
On 2 or 3 occasions in the middle of the park where he was trying to play balls out to whether it be Cucurella, in particular Cucurella or Nico Williams, leaving them short, leaving them behind them, England intercepting and getting some even position on the field, you know, to try hurt.
That was about the only game in the tournament where you that he stood up. Another one as well.
But in fairness to him, I think he actually takes over the leader role when Zubamendi comes on, and he's everywhere and he's moving it.
Laporte had a great tournament. The fact that he's gone from Man City to Saudi, Kante,
and is looking to come back. Kante was great. Do you know what? I will give a mention to one England player. I thought John Stones was excellent for England.
I thought Mark Guehi was really good.
Yeah,
I thought Mark Guehi was very good as well.
There was a couple of slips in Guehi where.
Yeah,
it'll come with experience.
Very aggressive,
you know.
Very aggressive.
There was a couple of slips, and there's a couple of times he was a bit too tight. But I thought John Stones was excellent. I know City like to bring him into midfield and things like that, but he's a centre back. He was very rarely beaten. He heads one out brilliant last night.
He had that run as well last night, where he carried it about 50, 60 yards.
There was one second half where the ball is flashed across, and it looks like I think it might be Morata or one of them is on it, and he gets ahead to it and puts it out for a corner. It was a brilliant. I have to give John Stones.
Really
and I'm you know me, I'm no Man City fan, but I thought John Stones was excellent for England. Anyway, we've done an hour and 10 minutes here.
We'll only do 45, he says.
45.
We never just do 45.
Yeah. No, we really got into it there. I really enjoyed it. But
all in all, I enjoyed the tournament. In the whole, I enjoyed the tournament, but I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
You know, it was long enough. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. Now we just have to settle into people absolutely losing their minds because Liverpool haven't signed 4 players already, which is the crack. Look, before we go, our fundraising link is there. If you can share it. Listen, everyone watching this live is a member of this channel. Please just go in and take the link and share it around. Just share it to all your family and friends. We're trying to get to 10 grand, but at the moment all I can think is 4. Because I want to get to 4, and if we get to 4, it means I can send another 1,000 to each of the 2 charities, right? And we will get to 10 eventually. We're going to keep going. We get to 10. But everybody here, if you can just go in, take the link, send it to your friends, tell them you listen to a podcast, tell them you can call us all the names under the sun. It doesn't bother us, but just tell them that there are 2 charities that are really close to who we are and what we do. And if people can honestly give 1 or 2 quid each, and it just keeps to get the ball rolling again. Please do that. Phil's one is in there as well. His what he's up to is mad, but we're trying to get him as well. And we've committed. Listen, we've committed to fan support and food banks, the Lighthouse and Laura Lynn for 5 grand each, and we don't care how long it takes. But to be honest with you, we'd love to get this done by the end of this year, because if we can get it done by the end of this year, we have a plan for the golf day to make it even bigger than we were meant to be our last one this year. But we've kind of said, no, we're going to put a team together to try and make it as the biggest day we can, and try like target nearly putting 10 grand down on the table that day for somebody. So if you can please help us out, please do. Like, we're not asking for hundreds and thousands of quid. Literally take it, send to all your family and friends and go, listen, I don't want a birthday present this year. If all these can just throw a fiver into that. That can be your way of doing it. That can be your way of doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's your birthday or there's something coming up or, whatever, and you want to give it to us, give it to us. It's not to us, it's to two charities. And it'll help us get these charities done and move on to the next thing where we can help other people and whatever, line of charity it is. It means we can go into another area where we can try help people. So that's what we wanted to say on that. With regards to the rest of the week, me and Phil are recording the podcast that has no name tomorrow night. It will be for members. We're meant to sort our own feed out for this, and we just haven't yet. But I am on that tomorrow. So we're hoping tomorrow's one will be the last one on this channel, and it'll go on to its own feed from there on in, and then it'll get really mental. But that's on tomorrow night, Wednesday, and then we'll see what comes Thursday and Friday. Thursday we'll probably do a transfer thing. I know it's quiet with Liverpool, but people are going on about other clubs, and by talking about them other clubs, you end up coming back to talk about Liverpool. Did they need that player? That sort of way. So that's what we're going to try to do Thursday, and we'll take Friday off. But me and the lads on Sunday night, we'll be back on Sunday night. We don't know what it'll be about, but we're trying to keep as many shows as we can as the weeks go on. But it's hotting up now. It's going to be not long. I think it's 4 weeks now. Is it just over 4 weeks till the Premier League starts? So, and the transfer stuff. Listen, if you want to throw players at us, throw them at us. We'll talk about them. But as of now, Liverpool, you don't know a fucking single thing about what they're doing. And if anyone tells you different, don't believe them. Scouts of Pieces, very quiet, FSG out. Would you ever fuck off and annoy me? But I know Pete's only messing. But that's the plan for the rest of the week. We'll try to get to it. Most of them will be member shows as well. And we'll see where we go. I might start throwing in a couple of the old 30s in the morning as well for members if I'm not too busy with work. But that's where we are. Kev, anything else before we go? Anything on your mind you'd like to?
No, all good, man.
No, nothing that's going to fucking get me in a rant for 20 minutes. But go on.
No, but I got to skip to Phil tomorrow. So I said to you before we come on the show, I got a massive clear out of this gaff.
Love Phil and skip. Love it.
Yeah, it's not going to take long. It's not going to take long. In fairness, I've got to skip for a week. I don't know why I've got it for a week, but
a fucking week.
That's good. A week. Yeah, because I'm so far out of the sticks.
Oh, they only come out once a week to get.
They're not going to. Although I won't be back on until Sunday, but All Ireland hurling final on Sunday. Cork against Clare. Be an absolute.
There you go.
Banger.
The hurling,
can't wait.
And the Galway against Armagh, isn't it? In the All Ireland football. I watched the golf over the weekend. It was brilliant. I love the Scottish Open. I think the course they picked, the Renaissance course, was brilliant.
It's the British Open this week, is it?
Yeah, Royal Troon starts Thursday. Can't wait. And I don't know who's going to win that, but that'll be a great one because Troon is a fantastic golf course. Anyway, there we go. How do you think Slaughter's doing? I like how he is going about his business, doing his work, staying quiet. Says Canters, look, what do you want them to do? They're just in pre-season. You know what I mean? They're in pre-season. I've seen people fucking losing their mind because Aston Villa signed an off Everton and people are like, oh, that's it. Like, I've never seen a move from Everton to Aston Villa to affect the Liverpool fan base as much in all my life. But there you go. National Tickling Tournament is one for Phil. We could be talking about that tomorrow. You know how it works. We get on 3 or 4 topics. And if you have anything for us tomorrow night, we only recorded it last week and we didn't go on to the live or anything. We are going to go live tomorrow night. And we'll see how it goes. But listen, we literally need a name for the podcast. Then we have to go and get it put onto a platform that we can put out there on its own. We're not even going to do a social media for this podcast. We're literally going to make them every week. And if it spreads, the word spreads, it spreads. If it doesn't, it fucking doesn't. Because I'm not running another series of social media accounts. I'm just not doing it. I'm running about 4 at the minute and I'm not doing it anymore. So anyway, that is it. Paul Giovanni says Live over the weekend was excellent. Yeah, the golfing Live is good. And what you're seeing on Live is what you're going to see in the PGA within 18 months. So get used to it. So there we go. Thanks to Kev. Thanks to everyone for watching,
Bye-bye.
hitting the like button. Thanks to all the members. If you're listening afterwards, give us a 5-star review if you like. If you'd like to get this stuff live where you can comment, become a member on YouTube. And yeah, we're bringing you more and more member stuff as it goes on. So, and people seem to be enjoying it. If they weren't enjoying it, they'll tell us, because they just love fucking giving out to us. But we don't mind either. That's it. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.